Okay, second grade. Today we are going to continue working. I have my organic geometric Henry Matisse inspired design. So if you remember last week, you had to choose one organic, one geometric, and then you trace them all over. And when we did this, we realized, hey, by overlapping, I'm creating some new shapes. Right, so it's no longer just two, but we have created many. So this is last art class's lesson, and today I want to spend some time just reviewing our two different color combinations that we're going to focus on. The first one is warm colors. And I know that we did spend some time working on this with our chameleon, so you can make a connection with that. And the opposite is cool colors. Okay, so under warm colors, I want you to think about those colors that make you feel warm and toasty. Warm like the sun or like a nice campfire. Things like flowers that are growing in the warm environment. So I have just chosen some red, yellow, orange, and I did a pink. And then this is a raspberry color, so this kind of fits in the red and pink category. So I want you to think about your warm colors. Like I said, someone the other day we were talking, they said, ooh, what about a volcano? And I thought, oh, what a fun idea. So like orange like a fire, yellow like the sun, red like lava from a volcano, and then that pink. My lighting's a little funny in this area, so hopefully you can see it. Okay, so I was making that connection. Right now, I can't grow flowers outside. It's way too cold out. They'll freeze and they'll die. They need that warmth of the sun. So I always think about pinks like that. So these are my warm colors. And when you look at a color wheel, you'll be able to see all of those working together in a row. The opposite of opposite of warm is my cool. So I have my violets, my greens, my blues, even turquoise. Now in my marker bin, I even have, what do they call it? An iguana green, like a lime green. So these would be falling into my cool colors. So purple. Let's imagine you have a purple popsicle. And green, when the grass is cold and wet or even a little bit frosty. I even think about when you sit in the shade of a tree on the grass, it's nice and cool there. And then blues, we can think of things like ice and water. We watched the movie Frozen last week, and I always think about Elsa. Everything she touches turns very turquoise blue colors. Okay, so you can actually see on the color wheel how you have warm colors on one side and cool on the other. So I'm going to take this understanding and knowledge and I'm going to apply it to my geometric organic artwork. So there's a lot of things that we're learning here. What you are going to do is you're going to fold your paper in half, and I'm actually going to fold it. And it doesn't have to be perfect, okay? If your fold's a little crooked, that's fine. It's actually kind of fun to do that as well. So what I'm going to do on here is keeping it folded. I'm only going to think about using my warm colors on one side and my cool colors on the other. So since I have my warm sitting here, when I was mentioning how those organic and geometric shapes made new shapes, I'm going to go in and only use one color in each shape. I'm never going over a Sharpie line. I'm not crossing into another shape. So after I outline it, I want you to think about how you're coloring. So you can actually use your markers, the flat side, and do some lines. And here's another shape. I can go right next door. So hopefully you have markers. This project is definitely more successful with markers just because of how much coloring there is. And we want to try to fill up all of those whites. So once again, coloring all with my marker and nice lines. Another one that I sometimes do is I talk about making a racetrack. So I'll do this one here like that. So outline the shape, and that helps your mind know, oh, don't go outside. But a racetrack, thinking about a go-kart going around and around and around. Okay, so you can see how it leaves kind of a fun pattern there as well. All right, I'm going to continue working with my warm, and then I'll come back and I'll demonstrate the cool. And then grab your markers, grab your paper, divide your paper just by folding it. And by folding it, it helps me also know that I'm not coloring on the other side yet. That's later. All right, so have fun with this, and I'll be back. Okay, so first grade, I just finished all of my warm colors. So when you open it, you'll see how this side is just warm. Please notice I tried really being mindful not to put yellow right next to yellow. So all of my colors, it's almost like a puzzle coming together. So every shape is a different color than its neighbor. So that was my warm side. So now I'm going to move on. I'm going to actually keep this folded just so I don't accidentally get marker on it. And then I can start once again working on my cool colors. So I'm going to outline just like I did with my warm, but this time I'm using only those greens, blues, and purples or violets. Okay, so you can see I'm just outlining. And then go in. I try to use the flat side of the marker. That's called the technique, how an artist uses their tools, how they apply it. So my technique is I try to use that flat side so I get more coverage. I'm trying to make sure all of my whites are filled in. You don't want any white peeking through, and you don't want any shapes remaining white. So there's been times that students have created these and they have a ton of white around. Don't worry, you can go and take your shape and just add a few more to fill in some of those white areas. So if you still have your shape, find it, and then you can fill some of those in. Okay, so I hope you enjoy. This is actually one of my, like a favorite of mine. I just find it relaxing, that process of markers, and we're finding a lot of understanding. And then we're going to be doing some more Henri Matisse artworks coming up. Since I have my green out, I'm just walking around my artwork and thinking about how I can put some of these together. So they're not next to each other, but I can just say, oh, I'm going to scatter just my green around. Okay, keep working. I'm also turning my paper. If you've ever noticed, like, marker can easily transfer onto your hand. That happens quite frequently. And so if I rotate my artwork, I keep my hand on my table, and my artwork should remain nice and clean, so I'm not transferring that color. All those little tricks. Okay, so I will continue working with my cool colors, and then I'll show you my finished artwork at the very end. So I hope you enjoy. Get a little note card. You can draw all your cool colors in one area, put all your warm colors in an area. You could even separate them into two separate cups so you don't accidentally mix them. Like I put my warm away and now I just have my cool in front of me. So you can stay organized. All right, have a wonderful day and have fun creating.